What's up, guys? Welcome back to me. So to catch you up, after a complicated journey, I have made it back from Scotland, not only into America, also to Indiana, and finally here to my hometown of Vincennes, where I'm photographing one of my favorite photo subjects, the George Rogers Clark Memorial, in downtown Vincennes, Indiana's first city, on the frozen banks of the Wabash River. So how does it feel to be back? Cold! You guys, it is so cold. It is 5 degrees here. It is freezing. It's below freezing. Why do we live here? This is insane. So it occurs to me that even though I'm always saying that this memorial is one of my favorite things to photograph, and it is an absolute joy to point your lens at, and it's also just a few blocks from my house, I've never made a video about photographing the George Rogers Clark Memorial. And I'm also not going to do that in this video. So just before I left Scotland, I made a little victory lap. I ran up into the Highlands. I got some great photos and I think some pretty good videos too. So I'll have a video posted from that Highlands excursion soon. But the purpose of this video is just to look back on my experiences from last year and share my favorite images with you from 2021. I had a great year last year, photographing extensively in the American Midwest and also over the course of an extended 4-month stay in Scotland. So if you follow me on social media at the end of the year, you've probably seen posts of my most popular, my most liked, my highest selling images of the year. But in this video, I want to take the time to share my personal favorite images of the year with you. So give me a chance to catch up with my friend George here. I haven't seen him for a while, and then I'll drag you back home where it's warm, make some terrible coffee, and review my favorite images from 2021. It hurts. Everything hurts. Why is this so bad? Okay, you may not remember, but a year ago, almost to the day, I did a 2020 image review in this exact same room, wearing these exact same clothes. So this could be a good test of how well I've improved my video making process. Last year's video was like 25 minutes long, so I'll try to make this year a little more concise and engaging. Oh, by the way, thanks to Winfred for this amazing coffee fresh from Kenya. It is delicious. So this year I'm not going to tell the story of my whole year going image by image, but I think I will stick to my Instagram feed because that was a pretty handy way to go. Instead, I'm just gonna pick my top 9 and I'll just tell the story behind those 9 images. So for my fellow photographers, you can probably relate to the fact that your 9 favorite images are not necessarily your 9 most popular or best performing images. That's definitely true for me anyway. So this could be like a cool way to get some insight into what really gets me going personally photographically. And then afterwards, maybe we'll have time to talk about what my plans are for 2022, and I'll show you the images that I made earlier at the George Rogers Clark Memorial. All right, pulling up my Instagram profile. First off, I've got 1,480 followers. I bet that off the traction of this video, we could get that up to 1,500. I'd love to hit that number for the new year. So if you know someone who you think would enjoy some nice scenic photography like this, why don't you just pick a favorite one and then use this little paper airplane to send a picture and maybe brighten someone's day, and that person may enjoy following me the way that you enjoy following me. All right, I'm gonna scroll this feed down to the very beginning of the year. The very first image that I posted this year probably looks familiar to you because it is the January image from this year's Scenic Knox County calendar. The calendar is still for sale. It's early in the year. If you think you want to grab one, be sure to use the link down in the video description to get a copy for yourself. My first favorite image of the year, though. So this is like a pretty familiar experience to me. I will go visit a location, probably with the intention of photographing one thing, but instead come across a really cool opportunity to photograph something completely different. That's basically what happened here. I went out to photograph owls at a location where I knew that there was lots of owl activity, but instead I ended up focusing all my attention on this egret. This image didn't perform very well. I think it's more given to like a prolonged viewing experience. The egret doesn't really jump out at you, so it's not like an immediately recognizable subject matter. But I feel like the more I look at and dwell with this image, the more I enjoy it. I like the off-center composition. I like the expression of the animal. I just feel like I'm very satisfied with the moment that I captured here. Okay, my next favorite, maybe not a huge surprise. This is one of my favorite things to do in the winter is to photograph birds. So this is one that I've been working on for a few years. It's probably a little too abstract to get a lot of attention online, but I do consider it a success, and I look forward to improving it again this year. Okay, what are we on now? Number 3. For this one, a similar story to the first one. I went out to photograph actually like a fairly expansive rural barn scene that I've had in mind for a while, and I still to this day haven't photographed it. As soon as I got there, I was just completely sidetracked and distracted by this small, minimalist, very intimate scene with this cow and this fence post, and I just love it. The most complicated thing in the photo is this very gradual gradient in the sky. So I don't know, this again is something that the more I look at it, the more I enjoy it. I like the off-center composition again. So I don't know, there's a lot of tension for me in this photograph. When I look at it, I'm proud that I followed my intuition toward this more minimalist scene, this more unique and original scene, as opposed to maybe another cliche barn scenic. But as you can see, I do have plenty of those. All right, we'll call this one number 4. This to me is an exemplary black and white photo. I'm really proud of the execution. Believe it or not, there's very little editing besides the black and white conversion that's done on this image. And so black and white images, even though this one's got a lot of drama, a lot of contrast, I love getting lost in those really dark tones in the bottom of the image. These are never gonna get a lot of traction online, and so that relegates it into the category of personal favorite, but I'm still proud of the work and I'm happy to share it with you. Yeah. Scrolling through some images that I know I've made videos of, so if you're interested in seeing this photo experience that I had with fellow YouTuber Garrett Gillette, you might enjoy the video that I'll put in a card here. Scotland. Okay, now we're firmly in Scotland. Okay, this is another favorite for me, and as you can see, not something that got me a whole lot of likes or attention, but I love the palette and the processing that I did on it, and so yes, if I had made this maybe a little contrastier, more vibrant, more saturated treatment, this probably would have gotten a lot of attention online because I think the composition and the scene are very strong. But it's just not what I wanted to emote through the image. And so I've gone for this more pastel and light and almost cotton candy sky treatment. And I think it suits the scene really well. A lot of these will be favorites for me because I just remember the experience of making the photograph. And typically when I'm out doing photography, it's like a solitary activity for me. I very rarely are these like social memories, but I was out with my flatmates when I made this, and so it'll always be a favorite for me because I'll have that memory. Ooh, and this may actually be my favorite photo of the year. It's a strong photo. I think maybe it didn't perform as well as it could have because of the time of day when I posted it, because those people who did encounter it, I find, had a pretty strong reaction to it. I spent most of a day making this photo. It's a scene that I discovered on one day and the weather conditions didn't suit. So I went back a couple days later when the weather was better, and my camera had turned on the trip. It takes me a couple hours to walk to this scene. So the battery was completely dead when I went to photograph it, and I had to make the whole trip back to change batteries and come back again. So a lot of hours walking, a lot of hours dressing up this scene. You can see that on my TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I do a lot of like behind the scenes type stuff. It's at matt.tik, at matt.tik. And you can see a little, I don't know, almost a tutorial of me dressing up this scene. I spent a lot of time clearing brush and stuff out of the waterfall, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I wish it had a chance to reach a wider audience because it's a really beautiful photo, and both for the work that I put into it and for the outcome, I'm very happy with it. So I got to do a lot of street photography in Scotland. This photo from Edinburgh is probably one of the strongest examples. It turned out exactly the way that I wanted it to, and when I look at it, I'm very happy with the way that I executed it because it suited the vision that I had exactly when I encountered this scene. But this is very out of genre for me, so that there's not really, it probably didn't have an opportunity to connect with people who typically follow my work, because no one's really looking for me expecting to see street photography, but I love street photography. I wish I had more of an opportunity to practice it here, but I don't. So this one was a very well-loved photograph and one of my favorites to make, so I'll stay here with just a moment. And also I made a video of it, so there's a card here that you can use to access the video if you'd like to see the making of video. I made it over 3 trips to Edinburgh to get this photo, working the composition, waiting for the right weather conditions. And this is a rare instance where a favorite photo of mine was also an audience favorite. So thank you to everyone who took the time to tap that heart button. Now we're getting into fall photos, and I think this may be my last favorite photo. This is a photo that I made out hiking around in the hill country around campus. So for me, this is really all about composition. Whenever I post a photo that's sort of high key in treatment, or with sort of a gimmicky presentation the way this one is with the oval mat, like, I know it's not going to get a lot of attention, but I really love the triangulation of the elements in the scene. The geometry of it is to me just dead on, and I like the colors as well. So this is going to be a favorite for me. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the year. Okay, so I had a great year, and I've got a really exciting year planned for this year. I've been doing scenic calendars for 3 years now. I always love making them, love the reactions, love inspiring people with the beauty of local scenes. So I wanted to expand my calendar enterprise the last couple of years by doing an Indiana calendar, right? Something to appeal to a broader audience and a larger market. But it's always been just beyond my capability. And I'm very happy to announce that this year, the Indiana Arts Commission is assisting me with a grant through their On-Ramp Creative Entrepreneurship Accelerator program to make an Indiana-themed calendar, finally. And to assist with that, with some promotion and stuff, I've also made an Indiana-themed Instagram account. It's at Indiana Charms. So you guys can follow me there. You can track the progress of the calendar. You can see how my work's coming along. I'm going to be like Mr. Indiana this year. Probably most of my YouTube videos are going to be of Indiana. So if you're familiar with my work from some other context, please tag along this year. I think you'll enjoy seeing what Indiana has to offer. It's full of surprises. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. So this On-Ramp program is not just a grant. It also offered me some training. And I really latched onto an idea that was proffered through the training about how I can use work that's sort of tangential to the really creative work that I want to do, to support that work and make it more viable and sustainable and possible. So in addition to the calendar, I've also started a media company. I'll probably take on some more commercial type of work this year. If you know someone who's looking for some commercial media work, hit me up. Maybe I can help you out. Right, those more commercial ventures will be in support of the fine art photography work that I'm most excited about. So I'll be back into art shows this year after 2 years off. Hopefully the COVID situation is going to let those events sort of carry on. And I'm also going to have my debut gallery exhibition that's in the works. It's not exactly finalized yet, but I've got a good feeling about it. This will be the year that I'm finally going to have a solo gallery exhibition and maybe have the chance to show it in 2 or 3 galleries here in Southern Indiana. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up for me. I think this is going to be a really cool year. I also just graduated college last semester, if you didn't know. So I don't know, this is going to be a lot of experimentation, a lot of trying new things, and I think you guys will enjoy being along for the ride, and maybe we'll all learn something together. I hope big things for your year, because I know that's what you would hope for mine. Until I see you next time with that Scottish Highlands video that I've been teasing, you guys have a great year. You keep an eye out and a foot forward, and thanks for watching. Okay, here are those images I promised you from the George Rogers Clark Memorial, this morning's photo outing.